This is Jason LaValle with Psychedelic Scene, and I'm here with Levitation Room, Julian Porte, and please correct me if I don't say your names right. Gabriel Fernandez and Johnathan Martin.
Yes.
Our LA band. Did you actually grow up there?
Born and raised.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Look,
You
yeah,
guys hear
everyone in
me?
the group.
What's the advantage of releasing an EP instead of an LP?
It's funny you
Who's
asked.
who's to say? Yeah, it's
Quicker
funny you asked
turnaround.
that. We get we have some different professional opinions, but then we also think in the modern day, like how often are people sitting down for 45 minutes, 10, 15 songs, and for us, our main thing that caught on for us was our first EP. So I don't have any beefs against EPs, or albums. But
Yeah,
I
I
think
think it
with
just helps put more focus on like a more concise list of tracks, you know?
Uh-huh.
Oftentimes on a full-length album, songs will get overlooked. You know, songs that we think will be like, bangers, they'll just get overlooked by, general listeners. So
Yeah. So
it,
there's
it
more
it's
likelihood that those songs will get noticed on an EP.
yeah, it's just like, I don't know, in this market, people have short attention spans, so they just want the next thing to come out. So, the next piece of content to come out to stay enticed.
Yeah.
More emphasis on these smaller tracks, instead of like 10, 12, 14 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I know you mean me personally as a listener, when I listen to albums, I'm like skipping through songs. I'm like, all right, which one my attention first, you know?
Right. Well, albums started getting so long, they used to be like 35 to 45 minutes. And, now artists are releasing albums that are like an hour and 15 minutes. It doesn't hold my attention.
Yeah.
Well, what were some of the biggest musical influences that shaped Levitation Room?
At first, I would say when I met the guys, Tame Impala was like on rotation amongst us, and one of my influences as far as drumming too. Kevin Parker's just a monster, and it's composing. I don't know. It's one of my, I would say, top artists.
I would agree with John there. Tame Impala was like kind of helped inspire and push us into the type of music we were playing.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
mean, there's always like the quintessential bands that we love, the Beatles, the Stones, the Kinks. I don't know, there's tons of bands that we draw from, you know.
Yeah. Do you draw inspiration from any non-musical sources?
I mean, yeah, I suppose just like movies, books, um,
Oh, for
you know,
sure, movies.
all art mediums basically, you know.
you know,
Yeah.
Um, can you name any specific ones?
Mm. Let me see.
Would you say like biopics? Is that what you mean by movies, or just any movies? Like
Whatever inspires you. I mean, like I've definitely like watched a movie or read a book and thought like, okay, I want to kind of predicate this song on, what I just read, you know. But nothing comes to mind.
Sorry, your voice cut out there for a second. Can you repeat that, Julian?
I said, I've definitely like written like lyrics for songs after, perhaps reading a book or whatever. I've kind of predicated some of my ideas off of things I've seen on television or, you know,
what's that
uh,
book you read with Tom O'Neill?
huh?
Chaos? Would you say Chaos is one of them?
Oh, Chaos? No, I don't know if Chaos would be one of them, but um, I've definitely read some like there was a song called "Here Comes the Man" off of Headspace, and I had just finished reading a book about the CIA, and um, intelligence agencies and things like that, and how they play a role in um, in society and things like that. So I don't know. There's always like tons of inspiration to pull from personal experiences, mostly, I'd say.
Yeah. Now, you guys are often classified as a psych band or a neo-psych band. Do you ever draw inspiration from psychedelic substances?
Oh yeah. The name was derived from a psychedelic experience.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. The name Levitation Room came from a mushroom trip.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So basically we were looking for a name at the time, and our John and I and our old bass player, Jonas, we're all hanging out and we took some mushrooms. And right when they started kicking in, we were jamming in our studio space. And we used to have this like little black stage where John had his drums on it. Took a majority of the stage, but we always had like our amps on it, and there was enough space to kind of stand on the edge of the stage, and my feet were hovering over the stage, and it looked like when I looked down at my feet and when I was playing guitar, I saw the space between my feet and the floor, and it felt like I was floating off the floor. And so when we finished jamming, I was like, it kind of felt like I was levitating there for a second. And then I liked the word levitation, so I was, you know, quickly looked it up on Google to see if anyone had that name before in a band, and it turns out this kind of like shoegaze band from the 90s had that name. So, but I didn't want to let go of the name, so I just kind of we were just sitting around like, okay, well, what can we add? What's another word we can add to levitation? And we were just coming down from the trip, and I realized we were just like inside of a room, and I felt like I was floating inside this room, so
Uh,
in the meditation room.
okay.
Yeah.
How do you guys balance creative input?
Well,
Um, I mean, we all elaborate
collectively,
on songs together. It's, everyone's contributing ideas. You know, what do you say, guys?
Yeah, I think everyone has a fair shake at input. I mean, especially on the last album, Scene for an Egg or Strange Weather. We helped. I felt like we talked a lot about the parts and making sure that, everyone was happy about lead lines or bass lines. So, it's good. It's fun to be collaborative, have everyone's input and let a song be what it can be outside of just one person's just sole idea, as opposed to bringing one idea and let it just blossom with everyone else's flavors and styles.
Yeah. Are you at all concerned about AI and how it might affect your livelihood?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent for destroying AI. I think it doesn't. I think it's gonna completely distort reality, and it already has. And yeah, I don't know. I've been saying this for like a while, but AI is coming for everyone's jobs. No one's safe. So I mean,
Right.
even
yeah, but
just in terms
AI,
of automation, like a lot of truck drivers have lost their jobs. You know, people who do Uber or whatever, they're gonna lose their jobs. My brother-in-law, who's an animator for like Hollywood movies, he's essentially lost his job.
I don't believe that, man. I believe that nothing can replace the human touch, and especially like what I do. I play the drums. I paint with a brush. Like, AI will never substitute that. I don't believe in that. So, I mean, maybe it's true for like a lot of uh other kind of jobs, but I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm talking specifically
it'll
about music creation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a robot replacing the human touch of a drummer, like maybe an electric guitar, like electric components and stuff like that, but when it comes to a human touch,
Out of here.
you can't compare it. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. You could
Yeah,
try, but good luck.
right. What's been your most memorable experience on tour so far?
Huh.
Uh,
Memorable tour experience. There's a lot of them. There's some.
we've been touring for 13 years. There's so many stories.
Let's see. I mean, just taking strolls like after a show in Europe for like I would say like the first European trip. Pretty
Mhm.
memorable.
Yeah,
Just
a
like
lot of nights howling at the moon.
yeah,
Uh,
midnight
What-
strolls.
would you like to hear a really interesting story?
Yeah.
Um, so we played a show in Mexico City
Mhm.
a few years back,
Uh-huh.
and I decided to take a vacation for a week afterwards with my girlfriend at the time. And on the last day of our vacation, we got kidnapped. We were up in the mountains, like within Mexico City, but in this like national forest, kind of like a tourist site. There, it's a place called Desierto de los Leones, and they have like an old monastery and some catacombs there to go check it out. A friend of ours took us there, and we decided to go. He pulled over, and we did go smoke a joint in the woods, close to this little ravine that he knew about. So after we finished smoking, we walked back. We were walking back to the car, and we got ambushed by five people with guns and knives,
Oh
and
man.
they took us real deep into the forest off the beaten path, like about 10-15 minute walk, and they tied us up by our hands, legs, and gagged us. And I thought we were gonna die. Um, Fortunately, they took everything we had. I had my passport, all my luggage, and my guitar and pedals and gear and stuff in my friend's car because he was gonna drop us off at the airport afterwards. So they stole his car. They stole everything we had, all my money, everything, our clothes. And but fortunately, they let us keep our lives, and we got out of there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's scary.
Yeah. So
What's
that's one
okay?
crazy thing that's happened on tour.
I mean, that was like right after. I remember our friend who was asking me to stay with you guys, and I considered it, but I was like, nah, I gotta go. I was almost a part of that, but it
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Um,
Luckily, Julian's here, and everything turned out all right.
yeah.
Yeah.
A week
So,
after I got back from that whole experience, we played one of the main stages at Desert Days, and so that was just a wild experience. But we've had a lot of experiences. We've had UFO encounters, which is like something we've been interviewed about at nauseum, and
uh-huh.
um, we've yeah, there's just tons of stories. Um, I think any band that's been touring for 10 plus years will have their share of stories, being on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What city has shown you the most unexpected love?
Hmm.
Obviously not Mexico City.
Well, trying to think.
Would you say like I would say maybe somewhere in Germany. Um,
I was gonna say Germany too. Like Germany,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
they're like a really reserved type of culture, but they like to really cut loose at shows. And so, I don't know, man. Like almost all our German shows were like pretty crazy and
Bertman.
So
Uh,
not so much a city, but a country.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But we're trying to think. What's it? What was the name of that city you just mentioned right now, John?
Was it
I can't remember the name.
Dirtman,
Doesn't
something
matter,
like
though.
that. I remember like not expecting to be. There's this show at the show where I was using the restroom before. You guys were waiting on me, and then like I left and there was no one there, and I came back. The whole room was packed. It was a great show. Uh, I think it was Dirtmon. Could be wrong, but that's one that comes to mind on the top of my head. Um,
Jacksonville, Florida.
oh, Jacksonville. That was cool.
Jacksonville, Florida is cool. I didn't realize how many people are going to show up to that show. And it's with ironically we're have a show there in a few days.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
How do you see Levitation Room evolving over the next few years?
Excuse me. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we strive to push.
Because
And
how do we see ourselves evolving? Um I don't know, man, because it's difficult. This life we've chosen for ourselves, you know. We're constantly being beckoned to write and put out new content, and we just want to like continue evolving and making sure that the music sounds good, you know. Um you know, even our music taste has changed a lot, so I'm sure that's going to play a role in, you know, the music that we put out later or
Yeah, I would think so.
yeah. Um and we're not afraid to, you know, explore new territories, and so I'm pretty sure, you know, like the distinction between the last album we put and the one before it is I think. Um and I think we're just going to continue doing that kind of thing where it's just, oh, you know, we want to just try new things always.
Yeah.
Yeah,
collaborate with
Okay.
new producers.
exactly. Get different, get like a different fidelity out of recording and stuff like that, you know, trying new things, going from digital to tape, analog, and yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you could create your dream tour lineup, who would you want to play with? Just like
Alive or dead?
two or three other bands. Alive or Dead?
Sorry?
Did you? Oh, Alive. Alive.
Alive.
Yeah.
Pond would be cool to tour with. Um,
Who's that?
Pond.
Oh, yeah, Pond.
Um,
California.
I mean, I'd like to tour with Krungbin,
Pong Band would be cool.
Not
but
right. That was a good tour
a lot
lineup.
of great Australian bands right now. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, Bay Rainbow, King Gizzard, um, Surprise Chef. Let's see. Um, I don't know if we fit in the same mold, but like I mean, like um, a lot of great soul revival bands right now too. Um, and some bands that we actually know too, like the Altons, The Sacred Souls, um, Jalen Nonda. I would really like to tour with him. He's an amazing performer. Um, yeah. Who
Cool.
else?
Tame Impala.
Well, I think you got a few names out there. All right, one last question. If you could travel back in time to witness one musical event, which one would it be?
Dang. Monterey Pop Festival.
That's a good one.
69?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh
Okay.
wait, is that 69 or was that 67?
No, no,
67.
67.
Yeah, 67.
67.
Let's see.
I don't know. I would really like to see Gil Scott Heron perform in
Ooh.
like the early 70s.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
The concert, I don't know, but
Cat CCR somewhere too.
Right on.
Jimi
Yep.
Hendrix at the Isle of Wight would have been good.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for taking
Cool,
the
man.
time.
Thanks,
Uh,
Jason.
you have a new single out called It Happens All the Time, due out Friday. And again, thank you and take care. Hopefully, I'll see you on tour sometime.
Cool,
All right.
man.
Thank you.
Take care.
All
See
right.
you.
Bye-bye.